The following is a special presentation of iRacing on LSRTV, your home for sim racing.
Welcome to one of the biggest tracks on the oval schedule here with the United Sim Racing League as we continue LSRTV's coverage of the B and C Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series with the running of tonight's Auto Club 200 here in California. As always, we say good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to tonight's broadcast. I am Austin Coop. Alongside me is Kelly Dahl and Cisco Scarmuza doing what he does best and is clicking all the buttons in the virtual LSRTV trailer. Kelly, one of the most difficult and frustrating tracks you can go to in a truck is Auto Club because of one of the biggest things in racing, momentum.
Yeah, it's such a different track because, I mean, a lot of these, you think a D-shaped oval, kind of a tri-oval kind of thing, you've got the tighter kind of corners here. Auto Club, because you've got that extra half mile, the corners are extremely open. They're very slow entering corners, so you can carry a lot of speed through them. The name of the game isn't, trying to hit your marks. It's mainly trying to carry as much speed through those corners. But you got to be very careful because that turn 2 wall can really jump out at you in these trucks.
Yeah, we've seen many drivers in real life, doesn't matter what series you're in, and you've seen many drivers on the sim do that the very same. We're gonna take a look at the points here and take a look at our top 5 and top 10. A lot of drivers in here that we know very well from this series in general. Aaron Bennett, Cody Gibson, Scott Simley, Rich Jetty, and Stephanie Lessentine. Those drivers are your top 5, and then you've got George Hendricks, Matt Mora, Jamie Walker, Seth the Merchant, and Mark McCrary starting out the top 10 of these drivers. And you got to remember that these guys are also driving for a chance to make it to their chase playoffs later on in the season. Really going to be I think this will be business like usual for a lot of these drivers, but some of the drivers have to start thinking about that in the future. But one driver that we might be able to get a hold of later on, Rich Jetty, he's done an absolutely good job of making sure he's there at the end of the races. His average starting position is 28th, and his average finish is 10th. So a really good job from that driver who will be 4th in points leading into it, and we'll might be able to talk to him before the race starts.
Yeah, and he's even mentioned before that he likes to just drive through the field. I mean, it's not so much the finishing position for him. He just wants to go out there, have fun, work his way through the field, pass as many trucks as possible, and it's almost become a kind of a badge of honor for him to really count up his passes by the end of the night.
Yeah, having a lot of other drivers in the sim like to do that, but something that can be really difficult is at a track like this to go and try and do that. If we have long green flag runs tonight, a lot of drivers who don't get good qualifying runs are really going to be kicking themselves because they know how important that track position is when the race and the green flag drops. So right now, as it currently stands, Jamie Walker, Aaron Bennett, there are the front two, and only by 2/1000ths of a second. Then you got Mark McCrary, Dustin Holland, Joshua Banks running at the top 5 currently for qualifying. We still have some drivers rolling around the field right now. And I also want to mention that a couple drivers I haven't seen. We saw last week Seth Fowdy made a return to the series, and then I think the 12 made a comeback. That would have been Greg Ball, but I don't think he actually was racing, but he was in the picture as well. But we've got a lot of drivers that we just know so much because they stick around. This series has been known a lot for that, and we just see that, like Jamie Walker. He changed his number, but he's still rocking and rolling up there.
He may have changed his number, but he has not changed the way he's run. He has been consistently up near the front week in and week out, and currently he's sitting on the provisional pole as our drivers are still finishing up qualifying at the moment.
I think at this point we'll try and get a hold of Rich Jetty here. He is going to be starting, looks like right now, I don't think he's made a qualifying effort, so we'll wait till he is done with that that at the point. But Rich, we got you into the booth here. Rich, this is Austin Coop, and wanted to kind of talk to you before maybe you get your qualifying run out there and stuff like that. But you've had a really good season so far, and you're fourth in points. So kind of just tell us how your season's been, because we see some really interesting and fascinating statistics from you so far.
It's very shocking. I wasn't even, I think, registered for the first couple weeks. I was a fill-in driver if people missed the races. So after doing fairly well, I'm hoping to make most of the races and hoping to finish out the year. But that's how it's gone so far. I would say shocking is the main word I'm looking for.
Yeah, and I think something that we've always seen is that you've had a little bit of luck, especially at the we were at a few weeks ago. We were at I think it was Atlanta, where you almost had pit strategy really go your way, and then towards the end it just kind of fell apart. But this season in particular, like you said, you didn't really expect to run full time, but right now it is kind of a full time seat for you, at least at this moment. You're really trying to take advantage of that. What in particular has kind of set you in this league, and what do you like about it in particular?
Just something different. I haven't run a truck league in quite a while, and the variety of tracks so far. I mean, I haven't ran this track in close to a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and I see there's a few different smaller short tracks on the schedule, and those are always much better than some of the different ones that we typically run.
Looks like you're going to have your hands full, because qualifying ends in about 20 seconds, and I don't think that truck is going to go out there and go get the time to go complete some laps. So good luck getting through the field. I know that's kind of in your badge. It's what Kelly had said earlier. That's something that it's something that you kind of do. So I know this can be a really difficult track to do that at, but we look forward to maybe speaking with you later.
I hope so as well. That's the plan always, to start in the back, build up some confidence, because I don't get too much practice, and hopefully it turns out to where I get to speak with you guys later.
All right, there you have it. Rich Jetty, fourth in points. He'll start from the 34th position, Kelly. He's going to have his hands full tonight.
Yeah, it's certainly a long way to go for him, even lower than his normal average start. But as you mentioned, his average finish is 10th. I'm sure we're going to be talking about it later tonight as we look through the standings and notice that someone qualified way out in the back, and he's maybe going to be running in the top 10.
Oh yeah, that's going to be our driver to watch today. But we're going to look at those drivers up towards the front, and we'll see who our favorite drivers are starting. Jamie Walker, he will start tonight's pole winner, and then Aaron Bennett, he'll start on the outside. He'll start second. Mark McCrary will start third. Dustin Hall, he'll start in the fourth position. Joshua Banks, he'll start his number 36 truck in the fifth position. Bobby Darrell, he'll start in the sixth position. Seventh place starts Justin Michael, and Tim Matthews eighth. And Stephanie Lessentine, she'll start ninth. She'll try and rebound from last week. And then John Jenkins, he'll start in the 10th position.
Matt Barr will be rolling off in 11th, 12th to Ralph Vandervorst. Scott Simley starts off 13th, 14th, Michael Atkins Jr., 15th, Michael Waite. Chris Guillebeau will be rolling off 16th, 17th goes to the 80 of Scott Formosa. Robert Gillenwater in 18th, 19th to Jesse Williams, and Michael Warren will be rounding out a top 20.
Lewis Robinette, he'll start from the 21st position. Then Cody Gibson, he'll start 22nd. Keith Butt, 23rd. Brian Cutts, he'll start in the 24th position, with Jeff Ryan starting 25th. Shane Hawther and Nicholas Nugent, they're the last drivers to take laps, 26th and 27th. And then you've got this long list of drivers who did not take times, including last week's winner, Seth DeMerchant, Tommy Ryan, and Reddy Tesser.
Seth Fody takes 31st, 32nd to Dwayne Dunn, Ricky Howell Jr. in 33rd. Rich Jetty, we talked to him earlier, will be starting in 34th. 35th, Randy Yoakum. Stephen Herring will be rolling off in 36th, and rounding out our 37 truck field will be the 77 of Dylan Phillips.
As we look top to bottom at your LSRTV starting grid, we'll take a look at your track facts here at the Auto Club Speedway, formerly known as the California Speedway. And it is an asphalt 2.0 mile track here, and have 14-degree turns, and those are really that's not really that much banking here, Kelly, when you're talking about how fast you're going to be going in the corners. And we're going to be seeing these drivers do about, I'd say, 20 to 27 laps on a pit window, so only about 25 laps really.
Again, as you mentioned, those corners are very flat, and that's one of the contributing factors to these guys just getting up into those walls coming off of turn 2 and sometimes even turn 4 as they just try to push every little bit of speed as they can out of these long corners.
We are once again happy to have all of you along for the ride as the pace car is going to duck down, and tonight's running the Auto Club 200 will get off with Jimmy Walker. He is not gone yet, but there he goes. Green flag is going to be in the air. The 88 of Jamie Walker and the 36 drivers behind him. This is a big field here tonight, and we are off for 100 laps.
Yeah, good start from the 31 of Mark McCurry. He's already up to the door of the 3 of Aaron Bennett. He's challenging for that second place and will seems to get that coming off of turn 2. A little bit of a cross up now for the 3. Aaron Bennett going to try to see if he can get him down, coming down the back straight, just able to get his nose up to the bumper. But the 31 of Mark McCurry, a great start from him, carrying a lot of speed down that back straight.
At number 3 of Aaron Bennett, he's your points leader, and he said last week when he finished in the top 3 that he absolutely loves this place. He loves to drive it, and he just likes what it's about. So expect him to do really well. He got a really good qualifying run, but right now off that start, and it's kind of difficult to start in the second position. Don't get to see when the leader goes. He's going to lose that position. He's going to have it look like Dustin Hall to his outside. Dustin started in the 4th position, and he's right there and trying to make something more of it. Battle's going on a little bit behind them. It looks like the number 14 of Bobby Terrell is on the outside of John Jenkins right there in that 91. They're going to be side by side. Actually, that's Stephanie Lessentine who started in 9th. So 9th place, 8th place actually up for grabs right there in turn number 3.
Yeah, Bobby Terrell started in 6th, and he has been moving back. I guess he just got stuck on the outside, couldn't get the outside line working for him, and has now lost a number of positions. He's finally back in line, so he's going to have to regroup himself at the moment. But a 6th place start, and he's already dropped back 3 positions to 9th.
2 battles for 4 positions is the first 5 positions if you don't include Jamie Walker, and that's going to be the number 3 of Aaron Bennett getting right back around McCurry. He gets really tight out of turn number 2 right there, and that opens the door for Joshua Banks in that 36 machine. We saw a lot of him last week. He's going to go underneath them right here. Look at Justin Michael in the 87. He's also going to try and look to rebound this week, and he's going to power that 511 machine on the inside right there, almost below that white dotted, or it's not dotted, it's pretty solid, with that white line on the inside. He's going to have the position over the 31, so Mark McCurry goes from 2nd, I think, to 5th in 1 lap. So definitely that momentum, we talked about it. Turn number 2, he lost a lot of it, and he's going to lose a lot of positions because of it.
And another thing is the track temperature itself. Looks like the sun is coming right down onto turns 1 and 2, and it's really heating up the track. If you look now, you can see there's a very dark line where the trucks have been running, but as we come back around to turns 3 and 4, you won't even see that at all. So those trucks are going to be burning those tires up through turns 1 and 2, and if they're not careful, they're going to easily get up into that wall of turn 2.
Yeah, so seeing that there's not as much rubber in 3 and 4 just makes you think of all the options you're going to be able to do as a driver before the start-finish line, which could mean a lot to a driver between the difference on a last lap pass. But it looks like Mark McCurry is trying to go back to the outside of Dustin Hall, who had just made his way around him. Mark McCurry down 1 more position, and looks like Tim Matthews. We haven't really talked about him a lot this season. He's been solidly up there quite a bit, and it looks like the bottom's where you want to be right now. It looks like these trucks are not getting that much momentum on the top side, and so 31's getting boxed out, and really just been falling back since the beginning. And perhaps he's got something up his sleeve. We really have only got 20 more laps until that fuel window really opens, and Lessentine's going to try and take a bite of this one as well.
Yeah, Mark McCurry trying to make that outside line work, but he's getting completely boxed in at the moment, looking to maybe even make it 3 wide, but not quite able to get around Tim Matthews. Tim Matthews going to hold off that inside line, and Mark McCurry still stuck on that high side with Stephanie Lessentine on his inside. Stephanie getting a good run through the inside, maybe even going to have a chance to get up to McCrary here if she can just get a good run off the corner.
It looks like the battle for the lead is going on. Aaron Bennett had just got the lead, but now it looks like the 88 of Jamie Walker is going to try and go right back under, use the crossover move that we see a lot in short track racing. Walker's going to have the advantage on the bottom side. He's actually almost going to get into the 3. He got real tight in the turn number 3 and 4, and the 2 behind him are also doing battle, but they're going to catch these guys. That's the 36 of Joshua Banks. He started in 5th place. He's moved up quite nicely, and looks like that battle for the lead is going to go back in the hands of Jamie Walker. So the 3 does not lead a lap, despite actually getting entirely in front of him. And so this battle for the lead, we're not going to take our eyes off of it. He's back at him on the outside. That 36 and Joshua Banks, he's loving this. He's loving what he's seeing in front of him because he can have a shot at this lead here.
Yeah, and there's also Justin Michael stuck up with them as well. So we have got pretty much a four-way battle for the lead. And Justin Michael, he started 7th place, so he's already made his way up to 4th. And he's now going to try to join in this battle as well. And Aaron Bennett still trying to make that outside line work, seeing if he can squeeze down Jamie Walker just a bit. Looking to the inside now, Joshua Banks, and we have got Justin Michael moving to the outside. So we have got 2x2 now with these trucks.
Jamie Walker's in a pretty difficult position to be in. Do you go to the top side and block those guys, or do you stay at the bottom, or do you go 3 wide? Look at the 36 at the very bottom of the track. Not quite. The 3
contact.
Into him. Yes, the 3 gets into him just a little bit, and that's not going to be well for the number 3 truck. That's only going to hurt his momentum, but that battle for the lead still rages on. 36 of Joshua Banks, he's been absolutely blistering fast since the beginning of this race, and he's going to have a chance to crack that lead here in turns number 3 and 4. This is an absolutely good battle, but I think that 3 has some right front damage from hitting the number 88 so hard.
I'm surprised the number 88 kept his position, because that was a good shot, and that wasn't even square up to his bumper. That was right into his right rear of the bumper, and that 88 truck didn't move one bit. It looks like Aaron Bennett might have recovered. He's now slotted in behind Justin Michael, and those two are trying to catch themselves up to Joshua Banks and Jamie Walker. And Joshua's trying to now size up Jamie and see if he can find a way to make a move around him.
I did check number 3 of Aaron Bennett. He does not actually appear to have damage, and this is when you start to get that long single file. Actually, unless you're the number 22 of Matt Mara, who wants to make a move to the inside of the 37 right here in turns number 3 and 4. I think Michael Atkins Jr. in that number 2 machine, he's going to try and do the same thing. So the number 22 of Matt Mara gets a position on the 37 right there. And the 37 of Weston Hall, he's going backwards right now, going actually quite a bit. I think the number 37 is going to lose a lot of positions right here. Yeah, he's going to lose, I think, 4 or 5 positions just on that lap alone. So something is going wrong with the 37 machine right there. Looks like he's got some right front damage, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, probably got into the wall coming off of turn 2 then. And going back up to the front, these guys have really bunched back up together. Look at the 87 and the 36, even right up to each other and getting even closer to the 88 of Jamie Walker. It's going to have to wonder if any of these guys are going to try to make a move, or if they want to try to just conserve their tires and make the move when the other guys in front of them have worn them off. And oh, the 87 is the wall.
Wow, a lot of action all around. And yeah, like you said, 87 hits the wall, loses the position. I was looking at a replay at the moment of that, so that's why I didn't quite see it. But I was looking at a replay about 4 or 5 laps ago, because Randy Tesser had left the server, and that car, we'll have to show you later, but that car went about 15 stories high. And turn number 3, and there was no caution for it. So when we get a moment, we'll have to find that and show you the spectacularness of what happened to Randy. Tough night for him, and I think Randy Yoakum was the one that got into him. They were fighting hard for position, but they got into each other, and Randy Tesser went absolutely flying into the corner. So looks like we're gonna have a 3-way battle here for the top 10 position. Here it is. Michael Atkins Jr. is trying to thread the needle right in the middle, and almost goes too far up the track, but look, he looks to be in a good position right here. This is a really good 3-way battle right here, but it looks like the 2 is going to have the momentum of the middle line, and the 31 is going to lose all the momentum on the outside, and he's actually going to box him in right here.
Yeah, 31's going to try to use that draft a little bit here down the back straight, and he's actually going to use it to his advantage and get clear of the 22 of Matt Mara. So some great moves by the 31 as well to just kind of salvage what he could and stay right behind Michael Atkins Jr. But they've got a 4-way battle forming up there just for the 4th place, for 10th place there.
I think we have a spinner off of turn number 4, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to take a look. It doesn't really look like it. No, it looks like someone just got a little wiggly. But, yeah, look like a good battle here. Look at a good battle for the top 5 position. Tim Matthews, look at him go right around the 87 and Justin Michael. That damage if he might have got earlier is also really starting to hurt him, I think. And Lessentine's going to look and see if she can get around him as well. She's been doing fairly well getting up the field. She's got 3 positions on the night, and a lot of drive left in a lot of these drivers. You know, they've got about 10 or so laps before that pit window opens. But they've got to be a little, with the way this fuel package works with these drivers, you've got to be conservative, but at the same time, you can't be too conservative. It's only 25 laps around this place. You've got to make sure you get going, too. And Kelly, if we see green flag laps, this is absolutely going to be a game changer, because we're not going to see this draft come into the picture. That's why Jamie Walker is being caught by these drivers, because of the draft. When these drivers start to get spaced out, and pit road's going to be really important on time, I can see that we're going to have a lot of different strategies starting to play out later on.
Yeah, you can also use that draft to your advantage for the fuel window as well. You can just try to see if you can extend your fuel as much as possible. And it might be what Aaron's doing. He's gotten right up to the bumper of the 36 at Joshua Banks. And it looks, oh no, he is going to try to make a move. He ducks down to the inside of the 36, but can't quite get up to his bumper. Joshua Banks doesn't come down to cover him just yet, so it looks like Aaron Bennett is wanting to make a move, but can't quite find it. Jamie Walker encountering a bit of trouble. He's going to slow up, and now we've got Aaron Bennett going again to the inside of the 36 as the 36 checked up to make sure he didn't get into the back of Jamie Walker.
Yeah, it's really close between these front three guys. We're going to keep our eyes up here, but yeah, looking at Aaron Bennett that last lap, right behind the 36, I don't think you could have... I mean, if the 36 let off the gas even just a little bit, I think he would have ran right into him. I mean, there's no room for error for either of them. And if Bennett moved a little bit too hard in the corner, you're seeing him do a really good job of keeping that car on the bottom, but he doesn't have the momentum on that line. And you can see Banks continuously cutting in front of him and trying to actually get the position get the lead himself. You know, he's had multiple opportunities to, but I think since Bennett's been there the whole time, I think he knows that he has the issue of losing that position. If he tries to go for the next one, he could fall all the way back to third, then he has no chance to get that lead. So it's a little bit of, there's a lot of mind games that go into racing, even when you're talking about a track like this.
Yeah, you just got to try to figure where your opponent in front of you is kind of losing time and where you're gaining time on them, and maybe even the guy behind you. Look at Aaron Bennett once again, trying to see if he can make the run off and turn number 4, dives to the inside, able to get his nose just past the bumper of Joshua Banks. And now they're going to go side by side into turn number 1. Joshua Banks has been able to make that outside work for him so far, but again, checking up a bit more, allowing Aaron Bennett to get his nose in, and he's actually going to get his nose into Jamie Walker now. So Aaron Bennett making a move not for just for second, but he's going to make the move for the lead, but Jamie Walker's going to get that a bit of a push from the 36 and using that draft to their advantage. Those two trucks are flying past Aaron Bennett.
Without the draft, I'd say that Aaron Bennett would have a really good chance of getting this. Oh, looks like the 88 moved up the track just a little bit. Not sure if that was on purpose or not, but the 3 is going to be on the inside here. This might be the battle for the lead, and Banks is in there as well. So I think that Aaron Bennett's going to lead this lap. If not, it's going to be really close. That'd be a really good finish to the race, actually. But 5/1000ths of a second was the difference between those two, and Bennett leads his first lap of the race. So one official lead change of the night. Two drivers have led, and it looks like Bennett actually is starting to struggle on the bottom right there. He got real tight and had to get out of the throttle, I think, just for a second. But look what this has done. Look at Tim Matthews. He started from 8th place. He's in 4th right now. And Lesentine, she started in 9th. She's in 5th. She's basically followed him through the whole field. They're starting to catch these guys because they're fighting so hard right now.
Yeah, and as they're fighting, they're also wearing off their tires, and the 3 is going to slide up the track, allowing Joshua Banks to pull over a bit of a crossover, and he's got some great speed as well. Going to use the draft from Jamie Walker to maybe he get up to him and pull himself clear of the 3 truck, and he's actually going to make a move to the inside. He's got his nose in, just going to try to see if he can get past Jamie Walker, maybe force Jamie Walker up that racetrack and have force Jamie to maybe breathe the throttle for a second. But Jamie getting some good grip on that high side and able to carry the momentum down the backstretch.
I'd say that the longer these runs go on, the slower Jamie Walker appears. That's just because of the draft. You know, there's nothing else to it. I mean, these guys are getting pretty close in the corners as well, but I don't think you can really throw it to anything else. And while they're going side by side, this allows those guys to continue to catch them. And they can go to either lane. They can go bottom or top, and they're still going to get someone to follow. You can also see Walker going right back down to make sure that that 36 does not get a good run. Look at Bennett go to the outside, maybe try and get him on the entrance of the corner. I don't think that's going to work right now, but this battle for the lead has been absolutely good. There's battles all over the track, but right now, this battle for the lead is just too darn good not to watch right here, Kelly.
Yeah, you've got 3, maybe 4 trucks all challenging for those top positions, and just can't quite find a way to make those passes stick on Jamie Walker. They've been like Aaron Bennett was able to get his nose ahead and able to just barely clear Jamie Walker, but Jamie came right back at him. And even Joshua Banks, you get past him, he's going to try to cross you up, and he's going to try to counterattack. So none of these guys are really staying in one position for too long. They're all trying to make a move, and now Tim Matthews, he's going to start sizing up these guys, and he's planning his own move to go coming up here.
I always wonder what that driver that comes in the picture later on is wondering, because he hasn't been a part of what's been going on between these other 3 drivers. And to be fair, they are now fighting for that second position, and Walker's kind of been able to coast away. And gotta remember, we've been on the green flag for this whole entire time. Field window opens up in about 2 or 3 laps. I highly doubt any of these drivers come down until lap 24 to 25, because of the fact that if they can go quarter, they would only have to make 3 stops. They would make one at 24 to 25, 49 to 50, and then 74 to 75. So you're seeing Tim Matthews make the move on the inside of the 3 right there, but I think these guys might just be settling in, ready to go come down to pit road. If it were me, I think I would do that, just because they're in a good position. Why waste the good position to come into the pits? But Aaron Bennett's trying to he's trying to get the position. I don't think it really matters to him.
But it's also the fact that tires are starting to wear down. They are now 1.4 seconds slower than they were at the start of this green flag run. So that's another thing. These guys are able to carry a bit more speed around that outside, as they don't have to lift as much to keep that truck on the bottom side if they've got someone up top. So it really seems like the place to be right now is on that outside line as these tires start to wear down, especially on turns 1 and 2 when you've got that outside wall kind of pushing the guy on the top, kind of squeezing the guy on the bottom down.
These lap times have been as fast as 41 seconds up to 42.5. That's Jamie Walker's, just his last lap was 42.5 seconds instead of early 41s, but this is going to change everything. We've got ourselves a caution, and that's going to be in turn 1. That's going to be Dwayne Dunn in the 11 of Shane Hawthorne. We're going to have to get see what happened to those 2 guys, but those guys were involved on the entrance of turn 1 with a 3 wide situation with Rich Jetty.
Yeah, it looked like Rich was just trying to make the corner and maybe turn down a little early. The 11 of Shane Hawthorne, he was quite high up the track, almost running in the middle lane there as they entered into the corner. And really, it was just 3 trucks not really spacing themselves out. They were just really squeezing each other together. And it's quite a wide track here at Auto Club. You don't have to be all door to door the entire time. You have got a lot of racing surface to work with. However, there really is just one line you want to be on around here.
You got to remember, we talked to Rich Jetty before the race, and he's known for coming up through the field, but I can't really blame him or the 11, because the 11 wanted to, 11 was trying to come up and get a good arc, but at the same time, Rich Jetty was in the middle. It's hard to be that driver in the middle. And I think he just came down just a little bit, and the 11 came up a little bit, and I think they just met it in the middle. I think that's just my. That's where I think we could definitely agree on that one. At least that's my opinion. But nonetheless, about that accident, and more or less about the guys on track coming down pit road. This falls within the pit window. These guys will coming in on lap 24, lap 25. So this will be a really good run. See how these guys do a long drive to pit road as they all snake the way through pit road.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's going to be taking a full set of 4 tires for this pit stop here, because as you mentioned, the lap times really had worn off from these from the start of this race. So I don't think anyone's going to try to gamble it with 2, especially this early on. So we'll have to see who's going to be able to nail their marks here. If anyone's worn off their tires, it looks like a bit of a perfect stop for Jamie. Oh, good stop for Jamie, not a good stop for Aaron. Aaron slid through his box, but had to throw in reverse, so that's going to definitely cost him.
Anytime you have to make another direction in the truck, you're going to lose at least a second or more. Looks like he'll continue to be third. It's going to be close between those guys up there towards the front. Which one got third? Which one is going to be in selling for fourth? But it looks like he will lose third to Tim Matthews. So that was big. What was also big is Joshua Banks. He's going to win the race off pit road in front of Jamie Walker. And haven't we seen this happen to Jamie before? I think we've seen it happen quite a few times last week, where he had the lead, came down pit road, and then he would lose it. So the same has happened today.
Yeah, so now Joshua Banks is going to get a couple laps to lead to his name, but I don't think he's going to be very safe for long, especially once that green flag drops. Jamie is going to go right after him and probably try to get that lead back as soon as possible, but maybe he might lay off, try to save those tires a little bit, because we're gonna have probably another long green flag run. These guys in these trucks like to keep it clean. We had a race a few weeks back go completely flag to flag, green flag. So there could be another possibility of a longer run, maybe even going caution-free until the next stop.
This league has been really known for doing that in particular. As they run across the start-finish line, we'll show you top 10 right here. Joshua Banks, Jamie Walker, Tim Matthews, Aaron Bennett, and Stephanie Lessentine. That's your top 5, and they were the same top 5 you saw earlier, just a little bit jumbled up. And then you've got Bobby Terrell. He recovered nicely on that long run. Justin Michael, I'm sure he banged some of the damage out. Michael Atkins, Scott Simley, and Matt Maher. That's your top 10 right now, and some of these guys have really come through. If you look just a little bit farther back, Cody Gibson, he's come from 22nd to 12th, which is not an easy task to do. So these guys still under the pace car. Starting to look at those drivers that have come up through the field. Some of those drivers who have fallen back. Drivers like Mark McCurry in the 31 machine. He has fallen all the way back to 27th position after starting the 3rd position. So unsure whether he had a pit road issue or what, but he is going to fall real far back.
Yeah, another guy moving in the other direction, though, is Ricky Howell Jr. in the 18 truck. Started in 33rd. He's currently running 16th, so some great driving from him, and maybe even a great pit stop helped him along to get to that good spot. Another driver moving his way up, Michael Atkins Jr. started 14th, now running in 8th, so a lot of these guys started way back in the field, have really found their legs underneath them, and they're starting to make their way up.
Actually just took a look at Mark McCurry's pit stop, and he had come in 14th, and he got a lot of damage fixed on that machine, so that was most of the issue for him. Rich Jetty, by the way, he is taking the claim for the accident that happened for this past caution, so he will be going to the tail end of the field. I had a feeling that car may be going there anyways, whether it happened before or after the restart, with the amount of damage that he had on the machine. So we get 1 to go, and Joshua Banks, he's going to lead these guys. He's led a couple laps under caution. He's going to lead Walker, Matthews, Bennett, and Lessentine. And I'll tell you what, these guys have been having a really good, clean fight here so far for that lead, but it has not been uncontested for the last 20 or so laps before this caution.
Yeah, once that green flag drops, Joshua is going to have to get a great launch, because Jamie Walker is going to be coming right after him right away. And not only Jamie Walker, he's also going to have Aaron Bennett and Tim Matthews right behind him. That was a 4-way battle that we had going for the lead before this caution dropped, and I'm sure these guys are going to pick up right where they left off.
And something I'm really curious about seeing is which drivers use their tires more to get that lead, which drivers are reserved, and maybe you can try and get it a little bit after. So definitely looking forward to seeing that. But while we got a second here, definitely want to give a big shout out to B&C Lawn and Landscaping for their title sponsorship of the series. You can talk to Aaron Bennett about more information on B&C Lawn and Landscaping for all of your landscaping needs. And you can he's in that number 3 truck on the outside, starting in the 4th position. So Joshua Banks follows the iRacing official pace car just a little bit of ways from coming down. This is 2 miles of a track, but it definitely has been racing today like it's a lot shorter with these guys. Long green flag run, 22 laps. We'll see what these guys can do on this restart. iRacing official pace car down and away. The American National green flag is going to be out and on its way. Joshua Banks gets a great start on these guys. Leaders always going to typically have it. That draft will come into play, but the 88 is going to be contested for second.
Yeah, Tim Matthews just getting his nose into the quarter panel of Jamie Walker, and that's going to force Jamie to take that high line through there. Stephanie Lessentine also had a fantastic launch, but just had nowhere to really go and decided to just ease up and stay where she is right now. And a great corner from Tim Matthews, able to work that inside line. Can't quite get clear of Jamie Walker just yet, but neither of them really have the advantage with momentum at the moment. Tim Matthews, though, going to try to make it work on that inside. Jamie Walker getting a great run through the middle of the corner. We'll have to see who's going to have that better launch. Look at Aaron Bennett. He's going to move down to the inside of Jamie Walker. Tim Matthews clears for second place.
And Tim Matthews has to be careful to move up to the 88, because if he does, which he's doing right now, he goes to block. That's a block right there on the outside. He blocked the momentum of the 88, and they're a long snake between themselves and the top 10. You can put them in 1 second within each other. They're going to continue to go. Caution flag, turn number 1 again. That's going to be the 99 and the 20 or the 77 of Dylan Phillips. Big accident here in turn number 1, and we're going to get a replay here shortly of what exactly happened. Another 3-wide situation here in turn number 1.
Yeah, again, 3 drivers trying to make it to work into turn 1, and look at that 37, just came flying up the track. I don't think he knew that they were 3 wide, just expected that truck to be a little bit higher up and slammed right into Dylan Phillips. Dylan Phillips taking the brunt of that impact and then getting T-boned as well from Stephen Herring there. So Herring just kind of an innocent bystander in that, going to get some heavy front end damage after hitting that truck.
Really unfortunate night for the 98. He's going to probably have to take it to the trailer and pack it up after that one. Got a brutal hit to the front side of his truck, and I have a good feeling the 77 is going to have to do the same, although his motor did not blow. It's going to be in some pretty bad condition as that entire side is absolutely caved in. So he's going to come down pit road, get that fixed, but that's going to be quite a bit of damage to get fixed. I'm sure he's got himself a meatball flag.
Yeah, I think I saw that engine may have blown after that impact, so that's definitely some problems there for that truck, and I might have to just call it a night after that. That was definitely a hard hit and really unfortunate for Stephen Herring that just getting caught up in that. Just there was a truck just kind of sideways in front of him. He didn't really have anywhere else to go once he entered that corner, so definitely unfortunate for him. But that's just the way things go sometimes.
We talk about how the points start to look after that incident in particular. When you start to look at Stephen Herring, he's doing a pretty good job throughout the points. I'm trying to find him exactly where he was, but he's been doing he's had some good races here in the last couple of weeks, but this is really going to set him back quite a bit, and then Dylan Phillips as well. You know, each race counts when you start to look at a championship picture for these drivers in particular. They're on their way forward to try and get into that top group, in that top 16, getting that top 12. Just get as close to the front as you can, but getting these races with as many drivers are here, the more drivers are here, the more points you lose out on. And that's, I think, that's the biggest hurt to a lot of these drivers, is that, you know, they've got a lot more drivers that are going to pass them if they wreck out for one of these races.
Yeah, we've got a number of drivers that have already kind of pulled it off for the night. Randy Tesser has pulled it off, Lewis Robinette, Shane Hawther, Stephen Herring, Dylan Phillips, and I believe possibly Rich Jetty as well have either at least gone down one lap or taken enough damage to park that truck for the night. Actually, looks like Rich Jetty is still trying to keep his truck out there, but everyone else has pulled it down and parked the truck.
It's just he's still going to try and keep it on the lead lap, because what he'll do is every time he comes around, he'll get that damage fixed. And this is one of the biggest tracks that we go to. Of course, it's not as big as the super speedways, but this is a track where you can get the most damage fixed. I think he's definitely going to try and do that every time he can, despite having that incident earlier. I don't think we're done with the accidents. I don't think we're done, you know, having some of the issues that we've been having on track, but. Seeing some of the drivers kind of fake to come down pit road, I think they still got 2 stops before this one's over, and I think they're going to try and maybe, if we have another quick caution, to try and make it on 1 stop. But pace car's still going to have its lights on in this one, so we'll go at least another 2 circuits before we go green.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be coming down pit road anytime soon. I don't think we will see it again for a little while, especially since they haven't really done too many green flag laps on this set of tires. And that's really the main thing right now, is keeping fresh rubber underneath you. We saw that once those tires wore off, you couldn't really make the move to the inside anymore. With the fresh rubber, though, we saw Tim Matthews make a great move to the inside of Jamie Walker and just be able to power through the corner. But if he had tried to pull that move off 20 laps later, he definitely wouldn't have been able to. He would have been having to lift to keep that truck down, and that would have given Jamie Walker the advantage on the outside.
32 laps is what these drivers are on. Going to complete that one, and I think we'll be getting the 1 to go this time by. These are some really long cautions, and what this can do for drivers in particular is allow them to kind of start to strategize, start to think about what they're going to do on this next restart. And the wrecks that have been happening have not been happening towards this front group. And I don't think that's not because they're being as aggressive, but I think that's because the guys the 2 wrecks that we've seen, Kelly, are 3 wide wrecks. You know, I don't think you can be too upset about that, because At least it's not one guy getting in the back of you or dooring you or something like that. I mean, sometimes when it comes to 3 wide situations, and it's a simulation, so not everyone has the ability to purchase VR headsets or have 3 screens. It's hard to see where exactly you're going, as the iRacing pace car does have its lights out this time by. But those cautions I don't think are too upsetting if you're one of the drivers, or even people like us seeing those. It's just kind of one of those situations where you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, but this is a racetrack you can run 3 wide at and be at least not too comfortable, but a lot more comfortable than some of the other ones that the series comes to. But both of these wrecks that have happened, it's been three trucks trying to fit in half of this racetrack. I mean, yes, you don't have the VR set up. You can't, or maybe even you don't have triples. You can't look to see where that guy is on your right side. But if you hear 3 wide, maybe you gotta keep that truck just a little bit lower than you normally do, and you may have to sacrifice your corner entry, but at least it'll let you keep racing the truck.
Joshua Banks, he will start this one from the first position as well. He's 22nd in points right now with 1 top 10, average finish of 21st position. He's only led 1 lap before tonight, and he's going to get a lot more after this one. So he's definitely looking to crack the top 16 in this group as well, trying to get as many positions as he can, or the top 12, I should say, for this group of drivers. But Joshua, he'll get another chance at getting in front of him. Look at Tim Matthews on the inside in the 54. He's done a great job of getting himself up there as well. So as the pace car goes down pit road, we will get another restart. How good of a jump does he get this time? As he's bottling them up once again, and the green flag is up in the air. Number 36 gets a good jump again.
And Jamie Walker looking to repay the favor that Tim Matthews getting a good jump on the inside. He's going to try to make that inside line work and do exactly what Tim Matthews did to him on that last restart. And look at the outside line. Those are 3 trucks backed up right close together. The 54, the 3, and the 14. And that's going to allow Jamie Walker to slip right underneath. Stephanie Lesentine as well going to try to make a move on that inside. She gets herself up to the door of the 54, trying to make herself a move into 3rd place.
Lesentine is no longer following the 54 throughout traffic. She is wanting to get around him and get herself in the top 3 right here. Doing it on the bottom is definitely a place she wants to be, and she's going to actually lose a lot of momentum right in front of the number 3 truck right there, and he wants to get right by her. Look at her push him. Or sorry, other way around with the hims and hers, but look at him push her throughout the straightaway right there. Absolutely made her actually still be in the fight with the 54. I thought she lost a lot of momentum through that corner, but she's still going to be side by side with the 54 right here for turn 3. And gosh, I'm messing up my turn number 2, but turn number 2 is where they're at, so she's still going for the battle right here.
And the 3 of Aaron Bennett trying to find his way around. He had a good corner coming out of turn 3 and 4, but just had nowhere to go because those 2 trucks side by side in front of him. So he's just kind of sliding back and forth, seeing which one is going to maybe win out that race. And he's wanting to try to just follow them through to get that position as well, and maybe make himself a case to get up to the back to the front.
Walker.
Look at Jamie Walker. He's all the way up the track. We might go 3 wide for 2nd place into turn number 1.
Yeah, Walker's in a bad place right here, and I'm unsure why he's going so slow, but he's lost a lot of momentum right here. I'm unsure. He looks like he's lost he just lost 3 positions in one corner, and that's really unheard of for that number 88, but they are getting really out of shape in front of him. Joshua Banks is absolutely just blown by these drivers. He's almost half a second in front of them, and with them battling like this is going to give him a fantastic lead, and really, he's almost out of range for the draft. I mean, if he gets enough momentum in front of these drivers, be pretty much really difficult to get up to him without having consistent better laps. So that one driver right now is going to be Tim Matthews. He's going to try and get that position. 0.7 of a second is Joshua Banks' lead, and he's got a 1 lap driver. That's going to be Jeff Ryan, who's pretty off the pace, but he has not a lap down yet. So that battle for second continues to rage on. Looks like the 3 of Aaron Bennett's going to try the outside right here.
Yeah, he almost looked to the middle there. It seemed that Aaron Bennett now giving a good push to the 54, just trying to open up the gap, get past Stephanie Lesentine. He will drop to the inside now in the 54, and this is definitely what Joshua Banks wants. He wants these guys to just keep battling because they are losing so much ground every single corner that they go side by side through. And Aaron Bennett's still going to try to make a move. No, he's going to get his nose chopped off there by Tim Matthews. Tim Matthews getting a great run. However, Tim Matthews will lose 0.2 of a second on Joshua Banks. Joshua Banks now 0.9 up.
0.2 of a lap, or not a lap, 0.2 of a second each time is massive for these drivers. And what they've got to realize is the more they battle, the less they're going to have at getting a win. And yeah, getting each position is pretty nice, but if they want to have any chance of getting Banks, they've got to get single file. But look at the 87 get right under their lesson team right here in turn number 3 and 4. Has a lot of momentum going down to the bottom, but I think when you get to the second and third place driver, which is Matthews and Bennett, they're going to probably start getting a lot faster lap times because they don't have to worry about it. But Lessentine and company on back, Lessentine, Michael, Terrell, Walker, they're going to still have slower times, but I'm actually unsure what happened to the Banks. I'm unsure where he went.
He just lost the lead. He's now back into third, back into fourth. What happened to Joshua Banks? He was on the inside extremely slow. I was thinking that was a lap car for a moment, but he hit the wall coming out of 4. He lost all of his lead hitting the wall out of 4.
Yeah, and this is why you battle for that lead, and you're seeing 3 wide with some other lap traffic, but yeah, that was... I was so shocked. I thought, like you, I thought the same thing. That's a lap truck, but he gets in the wall again. He's gonna be in the outside. Walker's gonna go around. Big wreck on the front straightaway. Oh no, the 88 goes around. Dominant car twice, 2 weeks in a row. He's gonna have his hands filled the rest of the day. That being Jamie Walker. We're gonna replay up here in just a moment what happened, but wow, he hit the wall twice in a row, and I think that tells the story right there.
Yeah, some big problems for the 2 truck as well. The 2 was just kind of trying to run his line there, and as soon as the 36 got on the wall, Jamie Walker tried to see if he could just shoot that gap. Ended up just clipping the 36 and the 2 truck, and some big problems as Banks came down the track and hard into that number 2 of Michael Atkins Jr.
Gosh, watching Seth the Merchant just almost full throttle it through the grass and almost getting hit by the 2. I don't know. I don't know if I would be that daring to go down to the grass, but that was pretty impressive. Actually, he's going to have some left rear damage from that. I think the 2 actually got him. Going to have to see if that damage is permanent. Sometimes if you get close to somebody, you'll get that damage. But yeah, that 57 is going to get some major damage as they're coming down pit road.
Someone that got a front row seat to that was Scott Simley in that 68 truck. Happened right in front of him. He slammed on the brakes hard and just had those trucks bounce off each other right in front of him. So very lucky for Scott Simley. Some good brake work from him, and he'll escape that with a clean truck at the moment.
That passes the lead off to Tim Matthews, who's going to be getting some service on his machine. Joshua Banks has got to be kicking himself right now. Had the lead by a long shot, and I don't think he expected that wall to be there when he did hit it. You know, that I think as a leader you get pretty comfortable. So really quite devastating, I'd say, for him. But he's still on the lead lap. I think the biggest one was for the 2. He's going to have a lot of damage to beat out of that truck. So Tim Matthews, he gets the lead off of pit road. Aaron Bennett second, and DeMerchant looks like he's going to be third. I'm unsure at the moment.
It looks like he just took 2 tires. I think he only took right sides there and jumped out, and that's going to move him from 22nd all the way up to 3rd. So he banged out a little bit of damage, got just the right side done, and now he's sitting in 3rd place.
While we haste under caution, we'll take a moment to take a break and give a moment to our iRacing sponsor. So you've been watching the Auto Club 200 here with the USR BNC Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series here on LSRTV.
Hi, I'm Chris Page. I work here at iRacing. Been here 2 days before launch, actually, is when I got started. So we have developers working on front-end web development. We have back-end guys specializing there. We have DevOps that are dealing with networking, servers, a database team, so many different teams because there's lots of different work to do. The new user interface, which we call Scorpio internally, is a complete overhaul. So in the case of results, the way that it has historically worked is you would request results. The request would be sent to the server, which would then query the database, compile that, and send it back. What we're doing now is whenever we get the results of a race, we'll compile those results and push them up as a static page cached so that when you need it, it's available for you. It doesn't need to be computed on the fly. It will be much faster and scale much better. Just beginning with reimagining the website. We took a step back and said, how do people use this? How do people want to use it? And our initial vision of leveraging the web and getting your stats there, finding out a schedule and joining, that was a good one.
Welcome back to the Auto Club Speedway with the BNC London Landscaping Truck Series. Tim Matthews currently leads the way. He started 8th place and has come all the way up in impressive fashion, and with number 36 having some issues, we have come under caution once again. The iRacing official pace car has its lights off, and we will go green once more, almost to the halfway point here, Kelly. These drivers have been absolutely fast, and also you got to watch out for that number 57. He only took 2 tires on that last restart. Look at the good jump from Tim Matthews. He's going to get at least a 2-3 truck lead, 4 truck lead, 5 truck lead before the start-finish line, and they're going to start battling for second.
Yeah, it looks like we do have to watch that 57. A great jump from Seth the Merchant will put himself up to 2nd place, and we'll see if those 2 tires that he took were good enough. And I don't think they did too many green flag runs, so his left sides should be all right. He only took right side tires on that last caution, and it looks like he's able to carry enough speed. We'll have to see once they get those trucks up to full song. But just behind them, the 87 of Justin Michael, he's trying to make a move on the inside of Aaron Bennett as well, and he's got a bit of a push from Bobby Terrell.
I'm watching that driver, the number 14. He's come up after a little bit of adversity. He went back out to the top 10 at one point and come back almost in the top 5 right here. So done a great job. Actually, he's in the top 5 now. With these drivers still battling right in front of him. And these guys have kind of single filed themselves out a little bit faster than last time. But here comes the battle for 3rd once again. Bennett trying the outside, and he's going to single back down. But yeah, they're getting single file a little bit earlier. I think they realized how quickly Banks was able to get that 1 second lead in front of them earlier. So with that snake going all the way back to the field. Now these drivers, just because they're in a straight line doesn't mean they're going to do the same line. I'm seeing a bunch of different lines through out in the field, and we're going to see that happen all night long. And it doesn't stop here on this restart with these drivers trying to get every little inch they can get to try and get closer and closer, because can't forget these guys are in the draft. But I'm really impressed by DeMerchant. He's still in 2nd place.
Yeah, working those 2 fresh tires the best he can, but he's now under some pressure.
Oh, Lessentine up in the air. Oh, wow, big wreck. Turn number 2.
Yeah, lots of trucks take some heavy damage. It looks like Lessentine just got nudged on the inside. The 68 of Scott Simley just kind of turned her around. That just stacked up the field. Everyone just kind of slammed on the brakes, got into each other, and some heavy damage for a couple of those trucks. It looks like Lessentine may be smoking, possibly done. No, she was able to get that truck refired and able to get back going again. So, but some heavy damage to both her and the 68 of Scott Simley and a few other drivers that got involved there.
Yeah, she absolutely nosed that truck. And I mean, it was literally 90 degrees to the left, and whenever she got hit, every bit of wheel input she had in it threw her right back to the outside wall. So Scott Simley, not a very it's something you don't typically see for the 68, I'll tell you that much. Scott Simley is probably one of the cleanest drivers you see in this series, so I'm sure that the last thing he wanted to do was to send Lessentine into the fence and have a lot of other drivers get kind of getting that as well. So that happens at a track like this when momentum is so much on your side or against, and I think you see the driver behind Simley, Gibson, he was really close to him too. So there was really no room for error for either of them.
No, it looks like he just kind of just didn't let off as early as Stephanie did and didn't quite move himself all the way to the inside. He was just kind of sitting right up behind her, and then Stephanie moved up a little bit, led off to get for the corner, and I guess he was just kind of expecting to turn in a bit later, stayed in the throttle, which kind of pushed him up the track a little bit into Stephanie, and really from there, it looks like we got everyone coming back down once again for a pit stop.
And Seth the Merchant played this perfectly. He's now in second place. Now he's going to have fresh tires. I'm getting a little bit of vibes from him that he's going to be real strong, because you saw how good he was with new tires. So seeing all these drivers come down to get their service on the trucks, more than likely all these drivers getting 4 tires and some racing fuel as well. So I see exactly how these guys do. Looks like the 54 has his right sides up, and it's only going to take 2 tires. Oh wow, I'm pretty shocked about that, but we will have to see how it turns out. Keith Butt will also go, I think, with an audible of 2 tires as well, but I think those are the first 2 drivers. And the Merchant, he'll be the first driver, I think, with 4 tires out on pit road. I'd say that 57 has beautifully crafted a strategy right now to go and be really prepared for whatever happens, because they're at the second pit window if this was to go green the rest of the way. Next time they have to pits around lap 73, 77 in that little area, so once they go green again.
There's a number of drivers, though, that did decide to stay out, like Aaron Bennett, Ricky Howell Jr., and Jamie Walker and Nicholas Nugent all decided to just not come down pit road and stay out, and these guys will take over the front few positions right now, and I think that was also a good call for them. Those tires really weren't worn down that much. I was actually surprised to see so many trucks come down the pits there, because we were only green for maybe 3 laps before that caution came out, so it really wasn't any stress really put on those tires. It's just people trying to make that pit window call. So and a couple different strategies starting to form up here, and we'll have to see which one will take the advantage.
We'll take a moment at this time to go through your midway race break, brought to you by iRacing, the leading online racing simulation. Developed from the beginning as a centralized racing and competition service, iRacing organizes, hosts, and officiates races on virtual tracks all around the world. In the fast-paced world of esports, iRacing is a one-stop shop for online racing with officially sanctioned racing from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, World of Outlaws, and many more. So we look at your full field rundown as they stand. Aaron Bennett is in the lead, and then you've got Ricky Howell Jr. He's going to start this restart in second. Then you've got Jamie Walker third. Nicholas Nugent started from 27th position, trying some strategy here. He's going to start fourth. Tim Matthews, he's going to be fifth. He's one of the first drivers to come off pit road, but he has 2 tires. Keith Butt, he's in the same boat. And then you got the Merchant, and the rest of the drivers, I would believe, are on 4 tires. So he'll start 7th, Justin Markle 8th, Bobby Terrell, he'll start in the 9th position. Then you've got Brian Cutts in 10th.
Chris Guibault currently sits at 11th. 12th is Mark McCrary. Seth Foudy is in 13th. 14th, Jesse Williams. Dwayne Dunn sits 15th. 16th, Ralph Vandervoors. Michael Waite and Michael Warren sitting 17th and 18th. 19th is Dustin Hall, and the 10 of Jeff Ryan sits in 20th.
Kind of spectacular how often those Michaels are together. I just think it's kind of interesting. They're always by each other in these races, so we get to call them next to each other. So in the 21st position, Rich Jetty, we talked to him before the race, and I think he's got that truck pretty fixed up from the early accident. Then you got Randy Yoka in 22nd. John Jenkins is in the 23rd position. Cody Gibson is in the 24th position after being right behind that accident. He actually might have got some damage, I'd think. Michael Atkins Jr., he's in the 25th position. Robert Yellowwater, 26th. Tommy Ryan, 27th. Matt Mara, 28th. Scott Simley, 29th. And then you have Scott Formosa in the 30th position, 1 lap down.
I believe the rest of these drivers have called it quits for the night. Stephanie Lesentine, 31st after that last heavy wreck. Shane Hoffer, 32nd. 33rd, Stephen Herring. Joshua Banks, 34th. 35th, Dylan Phillips. Lewis Robinette, 36th. And Randy Tesser, 37th.
Let's look at your full field rundown for this race. Let's been a look at your iRacing Midway race break. For more information on the wide variety of sim racing possibilities online, visit iRacing.com to sign up today. For a limited time, you can now visit iRacing.com/World of Outlaws and take advantage of some exclusive promo codes. Get yourself on iRacing with a 1-year membership for half off, or you can try it with a 3-month membership for less than $5. Again, that's iRacing.com/World of Outlaws. Kelly, I had accidentally said it 3 years and you caught me, but it was too late, so I made sure I got it right this time.
Yeah, you only get 3 months, unfortunately, for that $5. But right now, the iRacing pace car lights are out, and we are about to get back underway for another green flag run.
There it goes down under pit road. We are literally halfway over once they cross the start-finish line, so halftime is over. Number 3 of Aaron Bennett, great jump. The 88 was right behind him giving a push. You know their teammates when they get that good of a start. So the 18 of Ricky Howell Jr., who started in 33rd position, is in the 3rd position. So he's up 30 positions. He's going to be right there and right in front of a lot of drivers who are hungry to also make benefit off of not pitting near this time. So a lot of battles all over the place. You're seeing the number 54 trying to make use of it. You can see how important track position is because of how far these first 3 drivers have already gotten in front of all those who have pitted.
Yeah, as I mentioned, there wasn't too many laps to run. It was more of a fuel call, trying to get themselves into a 2-stop to finish the race position. 3 wide now coming off of turn number 4 as we got Seth Demergent sitting in the middle between the 27 and the 87. So 27, 57, 87 side by side coming down the front stretch. And will we get through it clean? Looks like yes, they will go through turn 1 just clean. A little bit of a loss there for the 27. Look at the 87 of Justin Michael. He runs that inside line perfectly and going to squeeze out Seth Demergent. Seth Demergent going to get right up to the bumper and give him a shove down the back straight. Those are our the 2 guys that have won races this season, Justin Michael and Seth Demergent, and they are already doing battle with each other, and they aren't even battling for the lead. They're only battling for 4th place there.
How the heck did Demergent hold on to that truck? I mean, he hit his bumper a couple times. Oh, turn number 4, big wreck. These have been some big wrecks tonight, and it looks like they're not over. Oh, huge hit. That was a 33 of, I would say, Keith Butt, who just took that audible on the pit stop. Hindsight 2020, you don't do that, but I think a lot of other trucks got involved, and actually it looks like he got ran into. More or less, I think the replay is just going to have to show. It looks like the 33 came down from 2 lanes of traffic right in front of the 1 here.
Yeah, it looked like he was just kind of trying to arc the corner there on turns 4, but the 1 had got his nose in there. So Seth Fody just trying to run that inside line, just kind of clipped the 33 there as the 33 tried to arc it. The 33 just ended up going for a ride, hit I think 3 or 4 trucks before hitting the wall, and then as he came down the track, just unfortunate for the looks like possibly the 81 or the 91 of John Jenkins. He was still going like 90 miles an hour, and suddenly he's got that truck sideways in front of him, just slams into him hard. So some heavy damage for both those trucks. I think some engines blown for both the 91 and the 33. So that may end a couple of nights there.
We've had a couple of almost blowovers today, and I'd say the driver that probably felt the most helpless was Michael Waite. I was watching his speedometer right before that wreck, and I mean the 33 truck was sideways, but he couldn't even see it, at least at the point where it was too late. I mean, he was literally on the number 1's bumper when he was braking and was going 170 miles an hour. There was no room for error, and right there he just had nowhere to go. Blown engine. Really unfortunate for him and a lot of other drivers that got caught up in, but this is starting to look like a lot of drivers are going to have to get a lot more patient, but we're also going to get a lot less drivers with these kind of accidents. And even if you get a little bit of damage here, Kelly, with these trucks as heavy as they are, you need every bit of aero. You need your car to be perfect. If it's not, you're going to go back, because any bit of damage is going to really hurt you. We've seen that with the 87 of Justin Michael. I think he's got that beat out, and it's going to hurt you so much. Anybody who's got a little bit of damage, I mean, Simley's still up there on the lead lap, but if he gets by himself, he's going to lose a lot of ground just because he doesn't have the advantage of being behind some drivers. And there's some other drivers out here that are kind of in the thick of it, I think, because of drafts in a lot of ways, but without that, a lot of these guys with damage are going to really have some big problems on their hands as the race continues to go on.
Yeah, it seems that the bigger the track gets, the more reliant you are on aero. If you're at Daytona or Talladega, you've got to have a clean truck. This year isn't quite as big as one of those tracks, but it is a 2-mile track, and we have seen how much that draft can help you here tonight. So if you've got a little bit of damage disturbing that airflow, you're not going to be able to carry as much speed down that back straight, and that's going to really hamper any chance that you have here tonight. So you've got to try your best to keep your truck clean. You can't be just bumping and banging like you're at Bristol or Martinsville.
And Aaron Bennett continues to lead the way. I knew he wanted to get to the lead pretty badly, and this is a really good way of doing it. Only bad thing is Jamie Walker's not going to be right behind him this time. I'm not going to get as good of a lead from the driver to his outside, but as we have a moment under this commercial, or under this caution break, we'll give a shout out to our friends at Joel Real Timing. Coverage of the United Sim Racing BNC Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series is brought to you by Joel Real Timing, the official timing software of LSRTV. Whether you spend your time behind the sim, or behind the wheel, or on the pit box, or if you're being a spotter for a driver, JRT is the go-to software for iRacing timing and scoring analytics. Get yourself a basic download, or you can get the pro version today at joel-real-timing.com. And a lot of these drivers have been searching quite a while for their moment to shine right now, and Aaron Bennett is in that prime position. I think their strategies is kind of working out, because now they've got another caution to cool those tires down. They're in good position right now. Those top 5 drivers, Bennett, Walker, Howell Jr., those drivers didn't pit. Justin Michael and Seth Merchant did and took 4 tires.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how that's going to affect them later on, because I still don't think there'll be that much of a gap between those two. I mean, as we went through there, we weren't really able to see too much how much the advantage was able to play towards those guys with the fresh tires, because they were all battling with each other, while the guys with the clean tires were kind of just running away, or sorry, the guys with the old tires were just kind of running away in the clean air. So we'll have to see how much it will affect them. I still don't think that it's going to be that much weighted towards the fresh tires, because it was only maybe 3 or 4 laps difference between the old tires and the new tires with the guys behind them.
You gotta imagine that these two up front, Aaron Bennett, Jamie Walker, their teammates. I'm sure they're gonna try something, and you can't forget that Justin Michael's up there too. Those 3 have been working pretty well together the last few weeks, and so the odd man out of this top 4 is Ricky Howell Jr. Just have the benefit of starting on the inside, but gotta imagine that those 3 drivers up there towards the front, they're all gonna have a pretty good launch right here, and Merchant's gonna be behind the one driver that is not on the end of this restart. So Bennett, Walker, Howell Jr., Michael, and DeMerchant as your top 5, and you got Nugent, Terrell, Cutts, Gabot, and Mark McCrary as your top 10. And Mark McCrary, he's come back up. He was really far back in the pack for a little bit, and he's got himself back up to 10th position.
Yeah, he's done some good job out there, but up that front group, you got to keep an eye on Justin Michael and Seth the Merchant. We've had 4 races this season. All 4 have been won by these 2 drivers. It was Michael, then DeMerchant, then Michael, then DeMerchant. If we're going by the pattern, it's Michael's night tonight.
If the pattern keeps on going, you would be right. I have a funny feeling, though, that maybe it might be broken tonight. We'll have to see how that turns out, though. But green flag is awaiting as it goes, and really delayed green right here by these guys up front, and Tommy Ryan and a lot of others back in the pack. They got really out of shape. They waited on the flagman to give the start of this one. What that's going to do is they're going to lead battles all over the place, but I don't feel like it's going to go on. Looks like the 88 is going to go pressuring the number 3 here for the lead.
Yeah, some good pushing going on just behind them. The 18 and the 87 of Justin Michael getting into the doors of each other a bit. And look at Seth the Merchant. He's trying to find any little gap. If he's got a truck width between those 2 drivers, he's going to throw himself right in there, just trying to find any way he can. A little bit of problems for Jamie Walker. Checks up a little bit as Aaron Bennett keeps flying around that corner, really pushing those tires. And look again, the 87 and the 18 getting into each other once more, and Seth the Merchant decided to go push the 18 instead of trying to throw it up the middle there that time. But some more door banging between the 18 and the 87.
I'm curious of how good that upside is going to be in the long run. Going side by side obviously is not what you want to do, but 87's making the top line look pretty good as well, making the inside look not as favorable, at least in this tire battle that they're having. And truthfully, the 18 of Ricky Howell Jr. is doing a good job of handling but these guys have to throw at them. As he's still on the bottom, still making it good. But look how much the 87 is just pinching him down. I mean, he has no room for error. I mean, they are getting so close to each other off the corners, and I think Michael knows that if he even remotely, oh wow, almost door banging on the front stretch. Getting really close between these guys.
And unless one of them pulls away soon, I think this is just going to escalate because these guys are bumping and banging, trying to get every little bit of ground that they can at this moment. And neither of them is really giving the other any sort of room. I think that's the biggest gap we've ever seen between them there coming off of turn number 2. And as they're doing that, Aaron Bennett just kind of running away, leaving Jamie Walker as the buffer zone. Again, banging doors. The 18 just not going down the track. And the 87 lose a lot of ground there. So Justin Michael will lose a spot to Seth DeMerchant. Seth just kind of slips in underneath, and now it looks like Justin Michael is going to push Seth for a little bit.
Track position is so key right here, and now you know why Seth DeMerchant took 2 tires and was able to take advantage of it and stay in second place earlier on. But even now, even with new tires, even with old tires, it seems like they're on the same playing field, at least at the moment. And not by means of speed, because you know those other drivers would be faster. You even seen the 18 defend his position by staying on the inside. He knows how important it is to stay right there on the inside, but look at the Merchant get so close to his back bumper, and I have a funny feeling that this isn't going to end the best of ways if either of them have to say anything about it, because the 18 does not want to give up. The 57 is not known for backing down at all at any point. Wow, look how close he's going to get to him right here. He almost turned him on the straightaway right here, but now they're catching Jamie Walker. These two drivers are actually fast right here, and oh, looks like Jamie Walker's going to hold the pick for him. And Jamie Walker is slowing down tremendously right here. They're going to go 3 wide out of turn number 2.
Yeah, the 18 got into the back of Jamie Walker just a little bit, and Seth DeMerchant just flew up that inside. Now sitting on the inside of Jamie Walker, going to try to see if he can make a move up for second place, and maybe he can be the one to start chasing down Aaron Bennett at this moment. But as that happens, that puts the 87 into the reach of the 18, and he's going to try to make a move to the inside. And we saw earlier these guys were not fighting the cleanest. They're just sitting behind Jamie Walker at this moment now. Once again, it's Justin Michael to the inside. He actually will get the position that time around. So Ricky Howell Jr. moves back one more spot. Now Justin Michael going to try to go after Jamie Walker.
And now you're starting to see those tires come into play. The 88 of Walker, he's kind of been known for, whoa, looks like a little bit of a bobble from the 87 right there. Perhaps trying to defend his position between himself and the 18. And
oh, he took a big shot.
A shot right there. Oh my gosh, that was, I think they'll have some discussing to do, because I'm sure the 18 was going a little bit more for more than a bump right there. At least that's what it looked like to us. I think that was pretty deliberate going into turn number 3. But the funny thing is he actually gave the 87 more momentum and allowed him to get past the 88. And I think that just came back to bite the 18, because he just got passed by Bobby Terrell.
Yeah, now look at Jamie Walker trying to get up to the bumper, the 87, pushing him now down that back straight. Not going to try to make the pass, just going to try to see if he can use the 87 to pull himself back up towards where Seth DeMerchant is, and maybe help that line start to catch up to Aaron Bennett, who's opened up a half a second lead on the rest of the field here. And Jamie Walker actually getting into a bit of trouble. He's slowing down quite a bit, and he's going to now be under fire from Bobby Terrell. Bobby Terrell going to move to the inside of Jamie.
These guys are doing really good battle right here, but the 14's been real strong, and yeah, the 88, like you said, it's just something's going on with him in those long runs. I think we saw this happen earlier. It's just, he just hits a wall that his tires aren't able to really handle the pressure that he's been given right here. But he gets behind the 18, and the 18 and the 87 are not happy with each other. I went back and thoroughly enjoyed it. He's going to turn the 14! Oh, and that's going to be the end! Oh, big wreck!
Jamie Walker is well involved in that, put it hard into the wall, and that was just the 18 getting into the left rear of Bobby Terrell, and Ricky Howell Jr. just spins him right out, taking out both both the 14 of Bobby Terrell and the 88 of Jamie Walker. So both trucks possibly done for the night as they nose into that wall hard.
I think that's definitely done for both of them. There's no chance, I think, for the 14, or the 88's already sent it down pit road, but they both nosed it in hard, and I don't think anyone else was involved, but that was some bad stuff right there. unsure exactly what happened. I'm gonna have to take a look at that again, but that was, I mean, both drivers just took a hard right into the outside wall. And like I think you said, I think he got into the left rear. That's what it looks like to me when I first saw it. But we saw him get into the 87 earlier, so I'm unsure if his corner was different from them or what was going on there.
I don't think there's a lot of drivers out there that are currently happy with that 18 truck at this moment, so I'd expect for him to be encountering a bit of trouble throughout the night. It looks like the entire field would be coming down pit road this time by a little early for that pit window. However, they are definitely needing those fresh tires. If you stay out right now, you're just going to get thrown back in the field. So we'll have to see if who's going to be taking, possibly maybe a couple drivers taking 2 tires. Seth the Merchant pulled it off earlier, but he may decide to elect for a full fresh set of 4 on this stop.
If I was a driver really far back in this field, I would not take tires. I'd stay out there and only stay out there for about 10 laps. Looks like no one is doing that because you can't, like you said, you cannot make it the rest of the way on fuel. I'm quite surprised, and maybe we'll get some drivers to take 2 tires, but looks like nobody's taking that option. Aaron Bennett will get 4 tires, and he will be first, and looks like maybe the 87 got, yeah, looks like Michael got Seth Merchant right there. That could be big. The Merchant will start on the inside. But yeah, I'm surprised no one stayed out because they can pit at lap 73 and probably make it the rest of the way. So drive around 21st, 20th, 19th position. I'm quite surprised that no one actually tried that strategy.
Big winner there on that pit stop was the 10 of Jeff Ryan, moving up from 9th. I think he's up to 4th now after that stop. Maybe he went for just a 2-tire stop there. I'm going to have to take a look at his stop, but it was a great stop from that driver, gaining a lot of ground there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we do have a couple of takers, of drivers who have kind of gone that way of using some strategy. We got Cuts, Jesse Williams, Chris Cabot, Mark McCurry might have tried some as well, but yeah, some drivers have kind of tried some little bit of strategy. But looking throughout the field, looks like we only have 22 drivers on the lead lap. 2 of those drivers are not Jamie Walker and Bobby Terrell, and that's Jamie Walker's 2nd race in a row to be taken out, being in a really good position to have a good finish. So definitely got to think about how he's going to prepare himself for the next couple weeks. Not be in those situations. I think last week with lap traffic, not something you could do about, and then this week is kind of in the wrong place, wrong time, behind an accident. So definitely looking for the 88 to rebound. He was in a really good position, but I think we're gonna, like you said, might have a couple words with the 18, because I think I heard a lot of drivers upset on the radio. I think it was I watched it again, and I think there's a lot of racing that goes on, especially in these later goings. There's not a lot you're going to give to another driver, and perhaps you had the inside, perhaps you didn't. I think that's from our point of view. I think it's just interesting to watch sometimes.
Yeah, he was driving a little rough, though, kind of bumping doors at the 87, bumping doors with a few other drivers there, and even giving the 87 a rear-end shot going through turn number 3. But so I think he just kind of angered a few drivers, bumping them around a little bit, driving a little rougher than he needed to, because while we are kind of on the downswing here, we are still a number of laps away. We're over 30 laps away from the finish here, so there's still a lot of time left in this race. But so I don't think he really needed to be driving that hard against those guys.
And nonetheless, he does find himself in the 17th position. I'm unsure if he claimed the caution. It looks like he did. So he will start at least 17th, if not farther back. He'll have his hands full for sure. He started from 33rd, though. He was doing a really good job getting himself up through the field, getting position when he needed to, and really was in quite a good position before all of that madness happened with the 87 at the beginning of all that. But I'll tell you, it's pretty darn hard when you are going pretty much the same speed. When you go side by side, it's hard to pass at a track like this without any sort of advantage. And now the advantage that the Merchant and Michael had over the 3 of Aaron Bennett has kind of gone out the window. They don't have the tire advantage as they did, and when you're going side by side for so many laps trying to get all those positions, I think it can be a little bit frustrating going through a lot of these heads of these drivers.
Yeah, everyone's kind of trying to form their plan here as the pace car's lights go out and everyone forms up 2 by 2 here. And as there's still a lot of time left in this race, as I said earlier, but everyone's just trying to see where they can put themselves into position here to maybe challenge for this race lead that Aaron Bennett currently holds on to.
I'd be a betting man. I'd say some of these drivers are going to pit as soon as the pit window opens, so they can go the rest of the way and not have to worry about all the chaos that might happen later. But we'll just have to see. We're not in the cars. We're up here in the booth, and we're watching all the action happen with Aaron Bennett leading the rest of these drivers. 22 cars on the lead lap, and looks like the shenanigans at the start of this one are already starting. Looks like DeMerchant got into him, and an early start from the 3 of Aaron Bennett. I saw that one coming, and the rest of the field was not ready for it at all. Huge jump from this first group of cars. I mean, there's about 7 car lengths between this front group and the next drivers.
Yeah, and DeMerchant was right away squeezed down the track by Justin Michael. Justin Michael knowing that Seth DeMerchant is one of the stronger drivers in this field, and he's not going to want to give him a single inch. But if he focuses too much on DeMerchant, he's going to lose track of Bennett. And Bennett with a great start there, hasn't been under fire in quite a bit of time. In that last green flag run, he was way off ahead of everyone else. Just behind them, though, it looks like Tim Matthews getting a great start. He's trying to move himself up into 4th after starting at last section in 6th.
And look at Jeff Ryan coming from 25th to 4th right now. He's going to lose that position, but he's going to be in 5th place right now. I think he tried a little bit of strategy, tried a little bit of 2-tire call, but he's racing right up here with these guys. And you know, I'm watching these guys with the old tires, and it's just like I saw earlier. They're not losing that much time. It looks like Ryan maybe got a little tight right there. He's going to get passed by the 41 of Jesse Williams right here. But Williams was also on that kind of tire strategy. Look behind them. Look at Chris Cabot. He has hardly been talked about all day, and he's making his breakthrough in the top 10 and trying to get some more right here.
Yeah, he put down the 9th fastest time in practice, and he's currently trying to move himself up to 7th, I believe, moving his way around. And yeah, he will take 7th place just that time around. Just passing Jeff Ryan, going to clear him going into turn 1. Jeff Ryan encountering a little bit of problems, just running a little bit too high, getting a little bit too tight. Looks like he'll get it a much better line through turns 1 and 2 that time around, and actually might even have enough of a run to maybe challenge Chris Guilbeault down the backstretch.
I just might, but I think Ryan at the moment, I think he's lost a lot of momentum from the start of this one. His Venom Chevrolet right now is, I don't think it's as fast as it was at the beginning of this race, as he's continuing to lose time on that number 5 machine. And there's a pretty big gap between him and Brian Cutts, and then between Cutts and everyone else. I mean, this is the most spread out we have seen them, Kelly. I think there's a lot of fast drivers that we had, two fast drivers we had taken out in that wreck, and I think that itself has changed the way the rest of this race goes with the way the draft is with these trucks. So you've got Aaron Bennett, Justin Michael battling, and then you've got 4/10 between them and Seth DeMerchant and Tim Matthews, and then Brian Cutts is kind of all by himself, and that top 5 is really just kind of I think until they get to the next driver, there's going to be a lot of patience here, and like I said, they're going to have to pit before this one's over.
And I'm surprised that Seth DeMerchant dropped back that far. He was right onto the bumper of Justin Michael when we went to look backwards in the field, and he's normally a very fast driver, so I don't know if the truck just isn't quite suiting him right now, or if he just maybe had a bad lap there, but he has dropped way back behind Justin Michael, now 6/10 behind him. Justin Michael trying to see if he can use that draft to his advantage. He's got himself within 1/10 of Aaron Bennett, just needs to get up a little bit closer to that bumper before he can maybe try to make a move for the lead.
And he's there. He's faster. He's there. He's ready to pounce. And like you said, if the pattern continues to go, it's his turn. But I'll tell you what, if Aaron Bennett wants to win at a track, this is going to be the one. We heard him last week say that this is one of his favorite tracks. He's doing a good job of showing it too, because he's right there, right up front. We're almost at 25 laps to go here. We're getting close to the last quarter of this race, and since the second quarter of this race, the momentum from this has actually quite come down, but I think we're on the backside of it now. These drivers are going to start going a lot faster, even though they're more spread out. But this battle for the lead actually has started to grow a lot more from DeMerchant and Matthews. DeMerchant's not as fast as he was earlier on in the race, and I think the same for Tim Matthews, at least right now.
Now time to see if any drivers elect to go down pit road to fit in the pit window here as we move towards lap 75. It doesn't look like anyone will be taking it this time, so they will at least go one more lap out there. They may be possibly waiting for a yellow flag or just electing to maybe make a green flag stop once they've maximized that run that they've got. But we'll have to see if anyone will decide to maybe make a short pit here, get some fresh tires on, and maybe see if they can play the fuel game.
I have a good feeling that drivers like Aaron Bennett are probably going to try and use the full fuel. You know, we've talked to him, and we know that he likes to use the entire canister of fuel that's put in these trucks. And I just watched Justin Michael try something different, and it did not work out. He tried going to the apron below the white line, before the white line, in turns number 3 and 4, and it did not work out for him. He lost a bunch of time, lost 2/10. Even though he's got him in his draft, that's still a lot of time to lose that he could maybe not get back in a very quick fashion.
Yeah, it was definitely a risky move. I saw during practice a couple drivers clipping that apron and just losing the truck entirely, so he was lucky to get away with it. It was definitely something that he needs to try to find a way to get around him, but that was definitely something that maybe he shouldn't have done.
Yeah, you see the lap truck right there. That's going to be Scott Formosa, who was involved in the accident earlier. He's going to go 8 laps down this time. Maybe on the inside. But yeah, I think the lead has now stabilized between those two guys, between Michael and Bennett. And like you said, going down there may not have been such a good idea after all, seeing what he just went through and the fact that it's being really difficult for that to happen. But looking back throughout the field, looks like Brock McCrary has come up throughout the field, and he's really trying to get that those positions that he got not too long ago. But it looks like he actually may have just scraped the wall because Jeff Ryan has got right by him, and he's along with Nugent and company. So this battle around this area of the track is actually getting pretty close between these guys.
Oh, looks like we might have a 3 wide going on the front stretch. Here's the 10 of Jeff Ryan gets a little slow through the corner. 31 jumps to the inside. Gonna kind of chop across the nose of the 27 of Nicholas Nugent. And that's going to force Jeff Ryan to take that high line through turns 1 and 2. And we'll have to see if he's going to be able to carry the momentum. He's already lost that ground to 31. He's losing even more ground. Looks like that 27 is going to get him a 39 as well. Dwayne Dunn, he's going to move to the inside. Just going to slip between him and the 9 of Michael Warren. He almost took a glance to the inside, see if he wanted to go around Nicholas Nugent there and try to make it 3 wide. Look at the 10. He's going to squeeze those 2 guys down, trying to see if he can maybe get himself back onto pace here, but he has not got that race pace. Oh, they get into each other. Dwayne Dunn hits him.
Oh, no.
And the 10 goes around.
Oh. I don't think he's going to hit anything. I think he's going to be safe. I think Jeff Ryan is going to be safe after that one. It was really close for him coming right back up the track, and I think the number 1 of... Oh, wow. Wow, we got to get an in-car of the number 1 of Seth Foudy. That was close.
Yeah, definitely a close call for Seth Foudy there. Just didn't quite know where the 10 was going. Decided to just throw it through the grass and able to sneak by them. But here's that caution that a couple of these guys are waiting for. I think the entire field is going to come down now. 4 tires, a full tank of fuel, and they're going to be able to make it all the way to the end here.
Yeah, right you are. I mean, these guys are going to be right where they need to be when it comes to the fuel, the tires. And I think the one driver that did not want to hear this caution come out is the number 3 of Aaron Bennett, because he had such a good positioning on the rest of the field. If pit stops were to happen, we won't have any green flag pit stops. This will definitely see set to be. But Aaron Bennett, he will be in the prime position to make something up from it on the restart. But I'll tell you that this is probably pretty crushing to know that if it was to go green flag the rest of the way, he might have had a pretty good chance at sealing the deal up. But racing's a part of adapting, getting your strategies together, and everyone knew that caution may come out, and they were all right. So we'll come to 20 laps to go. I'm sure they're all going to come down, get their last stop ready, and we'll see if anyone has any issues. Aaron Bennett had issues on pit road earlier. He's got to not have that happen this time.
Yeah, this pit stop is going to have to be flawless. This is a huge chance to make up a lot of ground here. And Aaron Bennett trying to see if he can just kind of speed up through that short little run towards that line and able to open up a bit of a gap. Look at Seth the Merchant. He is right up on the bumper of the 87. Seth has had a couple of great pit stops, so we'll have to see if he nails his mark this time around. And Aaron Bennett now leading that, still just the 87 with Justin Michael down to the end of pit road. These guys are going to have to be right at the end. Going to have to get a good entrance and good exit to see if they can hold on to those top positions. Aaron a little bit slow getting into his box, and it looks like he may have stopped a little far back in his box, so that might slow down his pit stop just a bit.
And it looks like the 6 of Tommy Ryan is going to be coming off pit road first. A little bit of strategy there, and who's going to win it behind him? Looks like Aaron Bennett is going to be before Seth DeMerchant. This is actually pretty... it's actually going to really stink for Aaron Bennett to be behind Tommy Ryan, because he's not going to be able to control that start. Yeah, he wins the the race off pit road, but not after Tommy Ryan, that 6 truck. So this is going to really hurt him in particular, and I think the two drivers are going to be really happy about this is the number 57 and number 87 of Michael and DeMerchant. So at this time, we'll take our final break before the last 20 laps here. You're not going to want to miss it here on LSRTV at Auto Club Speedway for the Auto Club 200.
I'm driving the number 20 JGR Toyota Xfinity car this weekend. Really great opportunity here at New Hampshire at my home track. Over the past 2 weeks, I've been on iRacing, practicing a little bit here and there with the modified and the NASCAR Xfinity car, so it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great tool for me to kind of get used to that stock car body again and be prepared for the race today. Well, yeah, it's a mile long, so the draft kind of plays into effect here with the modifieds, punches a big hole in the air, and we run restrictor plates. So it makes a big difference. Just really fast, and it's our Daytona. So that's what's great about it, and we have a fast car for tomorrow. I think the biggest thing is they're heavier cars. The tire's a lot different. And the way you go about setting them up is a lot different. They use all 4 tires more than a modified, where we typically drive off the right rear, you know, so. Well, actually, it's funny. I raced NASCAR race in 2003 before iRacing came about. And then when iRacing came about, my friend Kevin Iannarelli, who works at iRacing, kind of told me, hey, man, you need to switch over to this. And when I did, I was like, oh, my God, this is like real life. So I started using it as a tool of mine to really prepare for modified races, whether it was Stafford or Thompson or Loudon, Bristol, and then obviously the Xfinity Series last year, going to road courses, trying to get laps, and use it as a tool that can get me as prepared as I could be without actually doing it. So it's been great.
Welcome back to Auto Club Speedway with the USR BNC Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series. Tim Matthews elected to pit, and then Tommy Ryan took some pit strategy. So we're having some interesting faces up here towards the front of the field. 83 laps in, just over 15 laps to go. We're going to get a restart here. iRacing official pace car ducks down and away. And Tim Matthew, he is on the lob pedal. He is going, and the inside lane is where you want to be. And he's got himself a great jump. The 6 of Tommy Ryan, he's going to stay pretty good on the outside as we get this restart on its way.
Yeah, good jump from Tim Matthews. Aaron Bennett, though, got that good line on the inside. Going to be able to see if he can make a move around Tommy Ryan this time. Those 4 trucks right there, Tommy Ryan, Aaron Bennett, Seth the Merchant, Justin Michael, all tightly packed going through turn 1 and 2. Still a tight pack going down that back straight. That's what Tim Matthews wants. He wants to see those guys fighting behind him as he tries to extend his lead as much as possible. But look at Aaron Bennett. He's already catching up to Tim Matthews, getting a great run through turns 3 and 4. He's going to get right up to the bumper there. He's going to now make a move to the inside.
This is the difference between tires right here, between 2, 4, and none. You're seeing all 3 strategies play out, and it looks like the 3 is going to have
big
a really
accident.
good one. Oh, no, that's going to oh, wow, that's going to put the damper on this lead, and yeah, like you said, big wreck, and that looks like it's going to be Jeff Ryan. Actually, that's actually Jesse Williams in the 41 right there. That's going to be on the front stretch, so I'm unsure of how that happened, but looks
Nicholas
like...
Nugent.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Looks like the 27 decided to tuck in and was not clear. That's all that,
I think
that's all that was.
Yeah, I think Nicholas might have been expecting the 41 to go all the way down to the apron, and he just didn't go there. He was staying on that white line, and Nugent just kind of came down and just turned the 41, took them both into the wall.
You can actually see Nugent back off at the last second, but his momentum down the track was already too much, and too late to make that mistake back, and that's gonna hurt him and the driver of the 41 machine quite a bit, as I think that's gonna be done for both of them.
Yeah, but now we've got to think about what's going to be happening for the leaders. Tim Matthews is going to stay with the race lead, but that's going to force Aaron Bennett to the outside, and we know second place is not the place you want to be in on a restart. You're having to look through your side window there, trying to gauge when that leader jumps, and you have got to react to the leader while also trying to drive at an angle, and it's just an all-around awkward thing you want to do. So it's going to be maybe an advantage to Justin Michael for him. He might be able to slip up the inside from that 3rd position, get a good jump when he sees Tim Matthews go, and he might be able to challenge Aaron Bennett for 2nd place and eventually come after Tim Matthews, because we know Tim's got those worn tires and he's trying to see if he can extend the fuel. So Tim's wanting as many yellow flags as possible. And it looks like the 6 of Tommy Ryan. Oh, and Tim Matthews. No, Tim Matthews will be going down pit road for fresh tires and some fuel. He's decided he cannot make it, so now that will give Aaron Bennett the lead. And now Justin Michael is in that reactionary seat on the outside.
I am actually quite confused of why they are coming down pit road. To be fair, I know how good the tires are, but at the same time, they're going to be back in 20th position unless they can't make enough fuel, like you said. But I'm shocked right now that they're coming down pit road, especially for Ryan and the number 6. I think they just blew their chances of getting any good finish, knowing that there's been chaos in the middle of the pack. There's been just about everything you can think of. I can have a long list of reasons why not to come down pit road, and it's much longer than the reason to stay out. Because even if you're not the fastest truck, it's so hard to pass. I think they could still come up with the top 5, because we're only going to have like 11 or 10 laps to go on this restart. So I don't agree with this. I'm really shocked by these guys coming down pit road.
I mean, at least with Tim Matthews, he maybe thought that he couldn't quite make it to the end on his fuel, because he did on that last caution flag decide to stay out. So it's possible that he realized he wasn't going to quite make it and needed to come down for fuel. But yeah, Ryan definitely should have stayed. I mean, yeah, unless he forgot to take fuel last time around and had only taken those 2 tires, Ryan should have stayed out. He was moving back in the field, but I think coming down and taking tires now is just kind of pushing him back even further. I mean, he's not going to be able to have that many laps to try to use to his advantage of those fresh tires, and his fresh tires aren't even that fresh. We were only green for a couple laps there. I don't think he really wore down the tires very much. So, yeah, Ryan definitely made the wrong call there.
I'll tell you what, when I start to look at the points, and I start to look at where our top 5 is, one of them, your leader, is the leader of the race as well. He's going to have a fantastic night, even if he gets just a top 10, because everybody else in the top 5 of points is either been in a wreck or is out of the race. Rich Jetty, he's actually in 12th position. Remember, he was one of the drivers to be one of the first accidents. He had claimed that caution, and we talked to him before the broadcast, and he said he likes to kind of come back through the field. Well, he's had to do that twice now. 12th position is where he's done a really good job of with as beat up as that truck is. He's probably going to be sitting in second place in points because Cody Gibson is sitting in a disastrous 32nd position. Scott Simley and Lessentine got involved in their accident earlier on, and Simley, he's really this truck is not going to be helping him get through the corners very well as he's sitting in 19th. And then of course Lessentine got nosed in the wall, and her night ended up pretty just about as bad as Cody Gibson's, and they're sitting next to each other, 32nd and 33rd, many laps down. So both of them are going to have some jobs to do the next couple weeks to get those points back, try and salvage as much as they can, but realistically it's going to be hard to do that as in general. But still under caution, Aaron Bennett, Justin Michael, Seth DeMerchant, Mark McCrary in the 31. He's come back from a lot of adversity, coming back to the field from being as low as 30th, I think. And then you've got Brian Cutts in the 04. He's playing the strategy, and he's in 5th.
Yeah, and it looks like the pace car will shut its lights off this time around, which means we will have just 11 laps to go when we go green once more. So if someone's going to want to make a move, they're going to have to make it real quick here, because we do not have much time left in this race. And it's been shown these guys can race hard on this track. There's really a lot of different strategies here. But I'd say the advantage at the moment goes to either Aaron Bennett or Seth DeMerchant, because Justin Michael's going to be stuck on that outside line. And we've seen multiple times throughout the night, that outside line isn't where you want to restart. You want to be on that inside, and you especially don't want to be in that second position unless you can get a good jump and anticipate when that leader is going to go.
Yeah, definitely, especially with it coming down to the end of this race. They're not going to be conserving at all. I can tell you that these drivers are going to be trying pretty darn hard to continue to push the limits that they're able to go through the corners and on the outside to push the limits of pitching a driver down. I think we're going to see drivers get as close as they can. Although I know that those front three drivers, and you can even throw McCrary and Cutts in there, that top 5, they have been extremely clean almost all day, except for McCrary getting the outside roll that one time. So I expect it to be a pretty clean fight for this finish between these guys here in this possible last restart. They only have, I think, the ability to have one more caution if it does fly. So the American ethanol green flag is going to be out and away. Aaron Bennett gets a really good restart over these guys, and they'll cross the start-finish line. There's actually a gap for the 87 to go into if he wants it, and he will. He'll take it, and the top 5 single files out.
And that is as good a start as Justin Michael could have hoped for right there. And that will definitely put him in a good position. And they really kept Aaron Bennett close. They did not let him get any sort of ground like he has last few starts. And that's going to give these guys a good chance to maybe go after Aaron Bennett for this lead. And Aaron Bennett, he's been the guy that's been running up front quite a bit throughout the night. And he's held on to that lead pretty well. And I think we may have a good battle for the lead if these guys can keep up with him. And Aaron Bennett opening up a bit of a gap there through turns 3 and 4. He had a good run there.
Yeah, and as soon as those guys start fighting for second, I think it's game over for them to get that position. DeMerchant trying to go to the outside. Looks like Justin Michael will block that position as he knows the very same thing. And I think Bennett, he's got himself really dialed in right now. Only thing is he pushing that truck too hard right now? You can see him lose a lot of ground here out of the corner. Is he going to be caught by Justin Michael here on the back straightaway? He is, but he's not going to make the move. There it is on the inside of the 3 of Aaron Bennett. So they're going side by side for the lead here in turn number 3.
Yeah, Aaron Bennett just didn't quite get the good exit on that corner, didn't maximize that track as Justin Michael did, and that's going to force Aaron to that outside. It looks like Seth DeMerchant is going to try to push Michael down, and he's going to actually make it 3 wide.
For the lead. Oh my goodness, this is good.
Door to door.
Like Michael's going to get it for the lead, though. He's going to get on the bottom, and he's actually going to nose right in front of DeMerchant right here, and Bennett, he's going to have nothing here out of turn number 2.
Oh, and look at DeMerchant. He's going to try to cut down to the inside. He's actually got his nose to the inside of Justin Michael, and they are going to be battling for the lead going into turns number 3 here. So look at the great move for Seth the Merchant. He's going to see if he can carry as much speed as possible. Look at Justin Michael get all the way down. Going to have to get a good launch off of the corner on that high side. Aaron Bennett just looking for a gap that he might be able to go through. And this is still a three-way battle for the lead as the laps just tick down. 8 laps to go now, and they are door-to-door completely even up going to turn 1.
Justin Michael actually led that lap. I did not think he was going to, but looks like DeMerchant's going to get that position now. He's going to get the lead right here, and DeMerchant and Michael, they have been absolutely dominant this whole season. Only those two have won the first 4 races, and you're watching the 87 go right back at it. You're right back to the bottom. This is bringing the 3 into the picture again. This is bringing Brian Cutts into the picture. He started from 24th position. He's right there with these guys right behind him if anything were to happen. In the 87, he's down to the bottom. This is a fantastic race, and this is probably going to go to the very end. And looks like there's a good push on the outside with the 3.
Yeah, Aaron Bennett just trying to find a gap that he can go through to try to get himself back up into this leadership fight, because right now it's just kind of Seth the Merchant, Justin Michael clogging up the track, preventing Aaron Bennett from even making a move, and they are door-to-door once again coming off of the corner. A good launch out of there from Seth the Merchant, going to get a bit of advantage, may even clear Justin Michael going into turn 3. Justin Michael going to try to make that inside line work once again, and he's going to get a good entry into the corner, but he'll have to see if he can carry that speed through the corner. Aaron Bennett getting another good run through the corner. Doesn't have anywhere to go. Contact. 87 to the 57. Seth the Merchant, Justin Michael banging doors coming off of turn 4.
Oh, that's a huge momentum killer. Even at the slightest, he just went up the track just a little bit, got right in the door of the 57, but he's not quitting. He's at the very bottom of the track, and I just have a feeling that they're going to be able to get him on the outside. That's it right there. He's going to have to follow in suit, and now Bennett, he's going to be able to be the one to challenge for this win, and he's going to try and break the weave. He's going to try and break the cycle of those two winning these races, and he's right on the back bumper. He's not giving any inch, and DeMerchant's going to touch that white line, which means he's going to go up that track just a little bit, but he also used it to turn the truck quite a bit. And look how far Justin Michael has got. That might be the end of the race for the win for him. 5 laps to go.
He has to hope that Aaron Bennett starts battling Seth the Merchant so that those two can slow each other up and he can get a chance to maybe catch up here. But Aaron Bennett is trying to pick his moment, trying to see when he can make a move. And also Seth the Merchant just carrying some great speed, not giving up any ground to Aaron Bennett whatsoever, just trying to keep Aaron Bennett at arm's length here. And DeMerchant, a very quick driver, shown throughout the night and through the other leagues that we broadcast here on LSRTV, that he is a very fast driver and will fight until the very last lap for the win.
Very disciplined driver, that 57. He actually won, I don't know if you know, but he actually won yesterday's race in the Super Speedway Cup. So I'm sure for him, he'd like to go back-to-back for this one. But Justin Michael losing a lot of speed to these guys behind him, and I think he's just slightly overdriven that truck to the point where he's going to have to play defense for 3rd position. I don't think he's got a chance at getting these guys up front. It's just going to be Bennett and DeMerchant. And when does Aaron Bennett make that move? You know he can't make it too early because Seth and Rick will be ready to have a counter to it. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what the next 3 laps have to do with these drivers, and absolutely no room for error for either of them. Just as close as you can get with these drivers. The 3's on the inside for the position.
He's making his move right now as we come to 3 to go. He can't quite get his nose up in there, though. He has to, and he let Seth the Merchant have that outside line. Seth the Merchant got a lot better run, a lot more momentum off the corner, so Aaron just has to try to find another gap here. Has to get a good run off of the corner and maximize his speed. Again, trying to make a move to the inside, but as he looks to the inside, he's forcing the truck to stay down and not using all of the track, and that's killing some of his exit speed, which is allowing Seth the Merchant just to open up a slightly bit larger gap. So Aaron Bennett, while he has to look for his move, he has to also keep up that speed. So we'll have to see if Aaron will again try to keep that truck down, or if he does. No, he makes a good move on the outside of keep up the speed as we come to 2 to go.
An equal battle is going on for 3rd position. It just happens to be with the 2 that got into it earlier, the 18 and the 87. It looks like the 18, Ricky Howell Jr., he'll make the move to the inside of the 87, move him slightly up the track. but it looks like he's not going to have the positioning on him. And then right up front, looks like the 3 looks for the battle for the lead as well, but it's not going to be there. So these battles subsiding just a little bit. Oh my gosh, Justin Michael all the way to the bottom of the track here at Auto Club Speedway, and this battle for third place is good. He gets out of the back of him, so we'll have 1 lap to go here, and we'll just have to see how this one ends. But those guys for third still battling on, but it's the lead, it's where it's at.
Yeah, Brian Cuts out able to make a move to the inside of Ricky Howell Jr. as Seth the Merchant takes the white flag. A good little gap that he's got between himself and Aaron Bennett. He just hits his marks. Aaron Bennett dives to the inside. Aaron Bennett diving extremely hard, making a last-ditch attempt to make a move on Seth the Merchant, but Seth able to hold on to that outside line. Saw it coming, made a good move, and now he's going to move to the middle of the track, trying to break the draft as he weaves back and forth, trying to hold off Aaron Bennett to the best of his ability. And just behind him, though, Justin Michael now getting hit by Ricky Howell Jr. Ricky Howell Jr. has taken out Justin Michael.
Battle for the lead is going to subside, and Seth the Merchant, he is going to win over the 3 of Aaron Bennett here at Auto Club Speedway, and sparks fly behind them. Drivers are angry about what happened there in turn number 3, but it's Seth the Merchant who wins this race in the end. And I think we'll have to take a second look about what happened there in turn number 3 with those drivers that were going to finish second and third, or third and fourth. But Brian Cuts will actually, he will actually be able to get that position. So unsure what just happened between those drivers, but it was not pleasant. Remember, we had issues with it earlier.
Yeah, the 18 just turned him as they came into turn 3 there. He just kind of didn't slow down at all, got right into the rear end of Justin Michael, turned him a little bit loose, and then slammed him hard into the wall, and that just completely junked that truck, the 87. It's a hard shot from Justin Michael.
Yeah, I think the ruling on the field says it's going to be further review, and it will be after this race on exactly what's going on between the ruling here. I think from our point of view that there was a common denominator in this one, and the 87 and the 18 had issues earlier. But, you know, we didn't really watch the racing between these 2 drivers the last couple laps, so I'm unsure. I know that the 87 was blocking like crazy, and he did kind of slide up in front of the 18 just a little bit, so hard to say exactly what happened, but in the end, Seth the Merchant gets the victory, and he's sitting in victory lane and a very, very happy person. I think when all the attention is off you and onto other drivers who are having issues, I think that's when you know you've won in kind of a style. So the Merchant picks up the win. We'll go through your full field rundown here. Aaron Bennett finishes second. Brian Cuts third. Tommy Ryan fourth. Tim Matthews, he salvages 5th place despite having to come down pit road. Mark McCrary 6th. Michael Warren 7th. Chris Cabot 8th. Dwayne Dunn, he'll finish 9th place today. And then Dustin Holm, he'll finish 10th.
Yeah, 11th goes to Matt Mara, 12th to Ricky Howell Jr. after that accident that he had. The one of Seth Fody finishes 13th. Rich Jetty will finish 14th. Ralph Vandervorst 15th. Robert Gillenwater 16th. Michael Atkins Jr. will finish 17th. 18th goes to 68th of Scott Simley. Justin Michael will be able to come back into 19th. And 20th goes to the 41 of Jesse Williams.
And the rest of these drivers are laps down or out of the race completely before it was over, quicker than they thought. Doesn't make any English, but you get what I mean. Jeff Ryan finishes 21st, Nicholas Nugent 22nd, Shane Hawther finishes in the 23rd position, 24th finishes Michael Waite, Scott Formosa finishes in the 25th position, 26th finishes Stephen Herring, John Jenkins finishes 27th, 28th finishes Bobby Terrell, and then Jamie Walker and Randy Oakham finish out of the top 30.
Keith Butt comes home 31st, 32nd goes to Cody Gibson, Stephanie Lessentine 33rd, 34th Joshua Banks, Dylan Phillips 35th, Lewis Robinette 36th, and rounding out our field will be the 69 of Randy Tesser in 37th.
We'll take a moment to take a break, and we'll talk to your top 3, Seth the Merchant, Aaron Bennett, and Brian Cuts. I think it'll be one of the most interesting ones to talk to Brian Cuts and see exactly what he saw in front of him going into turn 3. We'll definitely get a word from all 3 of those drivers about how they felt about the race, and we'll meet you guys on the other side from LSRTV's coverage of tonight's Auto Club 200. Welcome back to the Auto Club Speedway, where Seth the Merchant has picked up the victory, his third one on the season already, and he is going to be a very happy guy, and we will just talk to him right now in Victory Lane. Seth, you won yesterday, you win today, in pretty similar fashion, kind of got there towards the end and just stayed there and talk to us about how your race went. And I think the biggest thing is your strategy to get up towards the front. You started 28th, but you made that strategy to go with 2 tires in the middle of the race, and it kind of stuck for you. And just kind of tell us how it kind of went out there for you.
Yeah, I didn't mean to start 28th. Messed up qualifying and came off turn 2 and my delta 2/10 off the pole. So I threw it in 3 and 4 trying to get it, and just a little too much got in the wall. My lap didn't count. So from the beginning of the race, I had to play catch up the whole time, and got lucky. We had a caution with about like 10 laps into a run, and I just took 2 trying to get my track position up, gained like 20 spots, and was lucky enough that we only had like a 5-lap run on those 2 tires, and it made it so I could even back out on the same strategy as everybody. And then just racing Aaron and Justin there on those last restarts, got 3 wide with them in the middle, backed out right before the corner, and they both like slowed down for the corner like we were going 3 wide, and I was able to get a huge crossover off 2 and get the lead, and then just held off Aaron there for their end.
Yeah, and talk to us about the hard charge you had from Aaron. He's basically kind of there the entire time waiting for a moment to pounce, and at one point he was, I don't think you could have, if you would have lifted at any point, he would have been spinning you out. Kind of talk about the pressure that he was putting on you right there.
Yeah, a really close race, and I thought he was going to get me. He's definitely a little bit faster than me at the end, but I think with the tight setup we had tonight, that's why he wasn't able to get by me. In the middle was so good there at the end. I found a pretty good lane, especially through 3 and 4. I could kind of pinch him through the center, and it would make it so that I could get a really good run off, and he kind of stalled out and held him off.
Now talk to us about your bid for the championship, because you have one less race in the bank than a lot of these drivers, and one less than the races we've ran, but you've won 3 of the races that you've been in. Kind of talk about your expectations. You're in the top 10 before this race started. I'd assume you're probably getting pretty close to that top 5 already, and you've done a really good job so far this season. You've got a lot of momentum. Any particular reason why that is?
I don't know, just getting lucky, not getting caught up in too much wrecks. And last week when I did, the leader got took out, and I just happened to be in the right position. And then again tonight, just getting kind of lucky with the cautions and my strategy to put me up front, and then just do the rest of the work there at the end on the restarts.
Well, Seth, you go back to back night after night, winning on LSRTV. I'm sure it's pretty fun to do that. And who makes it happen for you? I know it's probably the same guys as always, but you got to let them know who helps you out.
Yeah, just the guys at Six Man and Kyle Menger for spotting me tonight, and P-Money Designs for being on the truck.
Right, there you have it. Seth the Merchant finishes in the first position, and then he's going to get another victory on the season. So we'll go down to Kelly Dahl, who's caught up with the number 3 of Aaron Bennett.
Yeah, I'm here with Aaron Bennett, driver, the number 3, finishing second here tonight. And Aaron, I hope you had as much fun driving those last few laps as we had watching them, because that battle that the 3 of you guys had since that drop of that last green flag run was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was fun. I screwed up with about 5 to go, or 4, I don't know, no, 7 to go, coming out, or 1 and 2, I overshot the entry and ruined it, and then I couldn't get back by him. I knew Justin had damage. I was going to get by him, but Seth was going to be tough. The only way to get around him was to rough him up, and I wasn't about to wreck him, so I'm not Denny Hamlin.
Well, we saw a few different lines throughout the night. Did things kind of change as the tires wore off a little bit?
Yeah, the track just kind of rubbered up and got hot and slick, and kind of got tight for the most part. Just kind of got tighter as the night wore on. Tire wear got better, but lap times were kind of slower. But I don't know. We couldn't get a green flag run long enough. It was embarrassing. Can't even go 20 or 10 laps out of caution. It's just, I don't even want to talk about the race. Just glad I finished second.
All right, well, it was a good second place finish, and next week we have got another good race from you guys coming up, going to Texas, I believe. How do you feel about that track up next on the schedule?
I run good there. All the guys do, for the most part. All the teammates are running strong there. It's a good track. 250 miles. Hope guys are smarter next week than they are this week because 250 miles pacing is not fun.
Well, before we let you go tonight, Aaron was going to give you the floor and allow you to thank whoever it is that helps you get to these finishes like this.
I just thank teammates over at Young Guns Motorsports, Greg, Jamie, George, Justin, for and then thank BNC Lawn and Landscaping and Young Gun Apparel. And we're going to Texas next week.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Aaron, for taking the time to talk to us. We'll see you next week.
Yep, see you.
All right, that was the driver of number 3, Aaron Bennett. Now I'm going to send it back to Austin Coop, who I believe is now with our third-place finisher, Brian Cutts.
He was here for a second, but I'm not seeing him around. So at the moment, we're gonna have to hold off on an interview with Brian Cutts for the moment. But we'll try and fill the space for at least a minute just to see exactly what happened. But the topic that I was going to ask him is kind of what happened in front of him. We can only speculate exactly what's going on through the helmets of these guys, but. And there's a lot of conversation that happened before the incident between those drivers, before the caution or before the accident happened. The conversation being over the radio, and we don't know what that is. We can only see that they're talking. We don't know exactly what they're talking about. Don't know if there was anything egged on, but racetrack wise, if there was no conversation, I think it's pretty obvious what exactly happened, but we can never be too sure everything that happens on the racetrack with these guys.
Yeah, and I'm sure behind the scenes there's going to be a lot of discussion between both those drivers and the league administrators to try to figure something out and hopefully stop anything from that happening next week at Texas, because if these guys carry a grudge like that, we may see some more sparks fly between them, and we really don't want that happening and have some other drivers get caught up into an accident in the middle of a feud that just doesn't involve them.
Yeah, one of the drivers was Seth Foudy. He was not in the right place at the right time for that one. I think he was actually in the top 10 at that point, and he had got wrecked out last week as well. And so I know he was looking for a good finish, trying to come back and then be strong as well. So I think Brian has declined to comment for the night. I don't know exactly what's going on, but kind of a shame. I really wanted to hear what he had to say, but possibly just wasn't able to stay for that time. But Kelly, overall, we had a very decent race with the drivers up front. I think every time we looked towards the front, there was almost always a battle for it.
All right, there was a ton of great battles for the lead. There was some very exciting moments on the track, and it definitely ended up being a lot more exciting than we were expecting. We thought these guys were going to space out a little bit and just kind of keep their same positions throughout the night, but there's a lot of different strategies that went on, and a lot of different lines that formed as these tires wore off. We saw some drivers just better than others on the worn tires, and some drivers just able to make the high line work a lot better than the inside line, and it ended up being a very fantastic race here tonight.
So after the dust settles, the sparks in turns 3 and 4 start to settle down. Seth the Merchant will go home a back-to-back winner on LSRTV's featured coverage of Friday night and Saturday night racing. I know for him, he's been on a rail in this series particularly, and of course in Super Speedway Cup. So as we start to dim the night, we want to thank you for joining us tonight for the broadcast of tonight's Auto Club 200. I want to thank BNC Lawn and Landscaping and Joe Real Timing for their help and coverage of this series. And from all of us at LSR TV, Evan Pasoko, DJ, and Laura, and from the team tonight, myself, Austin Coop, Kelly Dahl, Cisco Scarmuza, we thank you for showing up, watching, and we'll see you at the next track.